In 2022, I made a video, or was gonna make a video. I made several videos about how I thought this was the greatest year in television history when it was 2022, right? Due to the fact that there were so many shows at that level, that top tier quality, story writing, the ideas. It's like, yeah, some shows did suck, and some shows weren't up to snuff. The ones that people were bitching about, they were completely off the mark. You had people bitching about receiving fan service for Boba Fett. Disney Wars is boring. There's 3 movies, or you go dig in all the Disney Wars, Space Trek. And I'll say this, a credit to Space Trek. As its own little thing, it's not that bad. Mandalorian, 3 seasons, Boba Fett season, the Obi-Wan stuff, the Ahsoka, all this stuff. If you're into Space Trek, it's not that bad. Bad Batch, you know what I mean? Rebels, and if you can get into it, it's worth getting into if you can get into it. I'll leave it at that. There was a Wednesday show all about Wednesday Addams. I thought that was kind of neat. It's like even the shows for little girls are fucking neat, right? Yeah, Peacemaker. Peacemaker was amazing. Lots of people were shitting on that, and it's like, fuck you, Marvel fans. I wanted something that felt like DC, and that did. So did the Suicide Squad movie that came out the year before that, and it's fucking amazing. I loved it. I was diehard, all that stuff. James Gunn is a fucking genius. Uh, anyways, uh, yeah, there was a bunch of other shows. I can't think of them now, but it was entertaining all year, like the whole year. I kept finding shows to watch, and it was like, holy fuck, it was just stacked right up. Well, this year it hasn't been the same, and I thought to myself, it's like, well, you had the best year in TV history ever last year. It's like you're gonna not expect to have the same thing this year. Well, you see, in 2022, my favorite show or favorite shows of the year were Peacemaker, Tales from the Territories, which was a show that talked about all the different territories in wrestling back in the day before they were all bought up. Uh, and it was a one-off. It was a one season. I mean, they definitely don't have a second season of that because, I mean, they talked about all the different territories, so right up until WWF, right? So there really isn't a reason to do a second one. But anyways, it was still a really good show. And the third was Winning Time. Winning Time was bar none my favorite of the entire year, and had me extremely fucking hopeful. Extremely. Winning Time was top tier acting, top tier story concept. Cinematography was the greatest I've ever seen in anything, and it was just like, fuck. It's like HBO is back, kind of thing, right? Since they're uh, what shouldn't be mentioned, but the horrible tragedy that was those 9 years of waiting for that fucking piss poor 8th season ending. Uh, with Winning Time last year, I loved it. I was obsessed. All 10 episodes, I was chomping at the bit. Couldn't wait to see the next one. Peacemaker was the same at the beginning of the year, but even with Cobra Kai, I liked Winning Time more, and it was more entertaining. It was more up my alley, as it was the history of the LA Lakers becoming an actual team and like a competitor within the NBA. And also, it's kind of about the NBA being saved. So we come into 2023, and the year's pretty bleak when it comes to TV shows. Oh my god, are you going to interrupt me again? Anyways, so coming into 2023, there's not much for TV. And we have movies. A couple of movies come out. And so let's see, what did I watch this year? I'm trying to think, because there was something. Oh, the Samuel L. Jackson show, yeah, the Secret Invasion show. I'm gonna have to say that was shit. That was terrible. Piss poor ending. Using Daenerys Targaryen, as I'll always call her, for that role. I understand trying to fit her into Marvel. I understand what they were doing. Sammy did what he does, right? You can't knock him. Uh, Piss poor writing. Marvel's pathetic. The Guardians of the Galaxy, that was an amazing movie. The third one. So I mean, they're not fucking everything up, right? But that's James Gunn again. So he understands how to put comics on screen. Uh, at least in my opinion. um, think. Right. There was that, The Secret Invasion. What are the other things? Oh yeah, The Mandalorian, which was a hodgepodge fucking mess. The third season of that at the end was like, okay, yeah, it all fits together. It was pretty good, but. And Bad Batch, yeah. So yeah, your Disney side of things was doing pretty good. Your Honor comes back this year, and I couldn't get into it past half an hour of the first episode. I was just like, meh, what's the point? They re, they returned a lot of shows. One of them being Winning Time. So in July or early August, it would have been July. That's right. I think it was July. Maybe it was early August. I can't remember. But Winning Time started, and it aired Sunday nights. So I was fucking pumped. Really fucking pumped. I watched the first episode, and it does this kind of like jump back and forth thing through time frames, and it starts at 1984 and then does a jump back. And so when I seen the first episode, I got all enthralled, and I had to rewatch the entire series. So the first season I rewatched again. So I'm waiting for episode 2 because I was so excited. After episode 2, I was so fucking pumped and so itching that I started getting like this itch to watch all basketball documentaries ever created and all basketball information. So I went on this tangent. I watched Magic and Larry, or Magic and Bird, which is like this documentary about the two. You have the Wilt Chamberlain one and the Bill Russell one that just came out within the past couple of years or this year. All kinds of them. I rewatched The Last Dance. What else? I rewatched the basketball animes that I like so much, like Slam Dunk, which, tragedy, they never dubbed the last season of that. I keep trying to watch it and I can't. I just can't. It ruins it for me. They don't even say the names right, because in Japan they put names backwards, so it's backwards the way we see it. So they actually use people's last names or first names instead of the names. So the ones that are done in English are not the exact same ones that are done there. They're the opposite name. It's still the same name, but they just don't. Anyways, Slam Dunk's awesome. I loved it to death. But yeah, was right in there. We're rewatching all these to keep myself going each week to get to the next episode. And what a lot of people don't realize, just due to not knowing, is that this summer was really fucking hard on me. Really fucking hard. And somewhere in June or May, I was having pretty well. I'd probably say that mid-June or whatever. It kind of started at my work, and things started getting really, really hard. And I started working weekends as well, and I was literally like sleeping and working, and that's it. And I didn't get any time to think. I didn't get any time to sleep. My head was going. I was dealing with somebody who's a complete fucking man-child, and they have like some kind of issue where if people ask them questions, they flip the fuck out. Just basic 5-year-old bullshit. And I was dealing with all this and a lot of this, and it got stressful, and I kind of fucking snapped, and I was a little bit of a prick. On top of that, the job was really hard. Canada Day had someone doing a seance in the parking lot at 2 a.m. So I mean, like, you get a lot of fucking idiots here, and just lots and lots of bullshit. And I kind of fucking snapped. I just went off the deep end, screaming and going at people and stuff, and I didn't want to be like that. Well, Winning Time was a reprieve from that. Every time a new episode of that came out, and every Sunday, I was fucking pumped, and it would calm me right down, and it'd be like, so of course leaning on these basketball documentaries. I'm like, holy shit, if this is going to calm me down and keep me focused on something, because I haven't been interested in anything for a long time. Musically, I work on it, but I'm shit at music, so. So, I mean, like, I got another 20, 30 years worth of playing hours a day in a row before I can even remotely play like Dad could when he was like 20 or something. So it's like, you know what I mean? So it's a work in progress, but it's not like I'm going anywhere. Film wise, I had no ideas. Comic wise, I was just distraught. I've had this writer's block for 7 or 8 months now, where I just haven't had any interest in absolutely any of my projects or anything I did. I was going to release a book in 2021, so yeah, I guess in about 18 months. I was going to release a book in 2021 that I never finished. It was like a three-legged cat comics history kind of book kind of thing. It was a companion to that series that I blocked on here because it was done wrong. But yeah, just no interest. And I kind of had this writer's block thing going. So of course with this show, every week it's the first time I've felt something or heard, you know what I mean? There's the first time I've seen something that's actually got me up in the night. So I'm hooked on this. So I'm watching all these, and I get it in my head. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna watch every fucking sports show ever made, all of them, every single documentary, every TV show, every movie, everything, so that I know how to make it better. And I started getting the idea of making the story about stats into this TV show. I wanted to make like a 3-season TV show. Well, that's not going to be a thing. I love you, Dave Crossman, for what you did, and all the other guys who won that championship for Canada. But I will not be making any kind of sports show, especially not about stats. In my opinion, there's like maybe 5 sports stories that every single person should see and know about. Like, not everybody's into sports, right? But 8 Men Out. 8 Men Out's a movie that's got John Cusack in it, and it's about the. It's also got the father from Frasier, and it's got a bunch of other actors. But anyways, it's about how the White Sox tried to throw the World Series. To me, that's a really cool story. I don't even like baseball, but I like that story. So that's a good movie, right? So there's like 4 or 5 of them that need to be told to people. Another one is Net Worth, how the NHL was run by 4 different people or 3 different people, and how they were robbing their players blind before Ted Lindsay. So, right? Well, one of the most important ones is the fact that Larry Bird and Magic Johnson existed and saved the NBA and created this whole commercialistic rivalry of black and white in the 80s, which kind of helped end segregation a bit. It kind of helped make things more acceptable, if you know what I mean. In a sense, it was a smoother transition thanks to those two. So, and you also saved, like, so I mean, like, if you have stories like that are that crucial and important that anybody can watch, right? And you go and you're like, well, they did save the NBA, but here's another thing. What about Jerry Buss and how he bought up the Lakers and how he turned the Lakers into a competitor, and now they've got tons of championships? It's like, I mean, Kobe died, fucking, it's his team, so it's nice to know where that comes from for the youth of today. Winning Time had 1 season. Then its 2nd season was cut short. Well, why was it cut short, though? Well, because a bunch of overpaid pieces of shit who couldn't write their way out of a wet paper bag couldn't agree on salaries and rules and all this other bullshit of their super high-end fucking millions of dollars shoved up their ass for creating shit television for, 20 fucking years until 2022, the first time since the 90s I was impressed with fucking TV. Yeah, you weren't paid enough, I guess. Issues with Disney's rules, how they want to have your character likenesses and all this other shit. So due to this writer's strike, in quotations, because fuck you, just like Gary Bettman in 2004, you can go fuck yourself. Same with the players. The players' strike, right? The whole lockout thing, all that bullshit. Same as the medical workers during COVID who went on strike. You're fucking evil. You're goddamn Nazis in disguise. Well, because of this, they weren't allowed to promote the show. So they didn't get enough viewing retention. So they canceled the fucking show. How many black people live in the United States? Name me one black person who doesn't like basketball, so I can smack them. Because it's literally what proved your fucking culture to those racist pieces of shit. So in a time frame where you're trying to make black more accepted really fucking hard, and you're pushing it in all these shows, you make one that's actually legit, not racist. A good story that tells everybody's side. You have a white hero and a black one to prove that, hey, we're all the fucking same. And it's a true story. Let's give props to fucking Pat Riley, who, unless you paid attention to basketball, you have no fucking idea how great that guy is. And Jerry Buss, right? And it's like, so, the other side of things. What about Adrian Brody? The stellar fucking actor who was given his chance to fucking shine. Or fucking John C. Reilly. Also given a chance to fucking shine. Because they're not supporting cast, they're fucking solid actors. What about the up-and-coming youngster, Quincy Isaiah, right? Well, we don't know who he is. You know, you're probably fucking racist or whatever. Well, no, I just didn't know his name. Exactly, you're not a racist because you don't know a guy's fucking name who's a new actor, by the way. I know who he is because I was obsessed with the show. I know who Adrian Brody is because he's a great fucking actor who's well established. I know who John C. Reilly is because he's an underrated actor who's been in a lot of great fucking films and shit. I cried. I bawled my fucking eyes out that Monday morning. I went home and I bawled my eyes out because there's nothing I can do. And what's the point of making a stats show when the story of stats is nowhere fucking near as important? Right? Like, yeah, stats is important to us. Stats is important to, like, Dad, me, and the rest of the league. The people who played in it. But people don't even give ball hockey the time of day. You have to pay to play ball hockey. You don't get paid professionally. People don't watch on TV and fucking invest all this time. People don't go and buy fucking stadiums for ball hockey. Yeah, that's really the point of my video is that, to me, that's a fucking tragedy. Yeah, I considered after episode 4, I'm pretty sure it was episode 4, not to spoil anything, but look into the history, because fuck that show. You're better off watching Bird and Magic. That's what it's called, I think. Yeah, Bird and Magic, the courtship or rivalries. You're better off watching that documentary than the show, because the show's garbage, and it was like the greatest thing ever, and then they just drop it off the edge of the earth. I considered around episode 4, whenever they fired Paul Westhead, I considered that to be my second favorite show of all time. I loved it. You have no idea how much I love that fucking show. It was so well done. And it's like, nowadays, one of the other issues is this synthetic expertise that people have. This disingenuous, oh, I know what it's supposed to be like, and I know about that skill. You know jack shit. You didn't study the fucking thing. Half you people think that musicians are artists now. No, those are people who paint and draw and shit, like me. People who know how to do that. Dad's a musician. He ain't gonna draw you shit. On top of that, your obsession with sampling music and then calling it music, it's like you're defeating the purpose. And then the concept of like everything's opinion based and all this nonsense, as opposed to an actual skill, which people do actually work their asses off to learn how to act that good. Adrian Brody deserves an award this year. Whatever the award is, I don't pay attention to that shit because they're all voted. But I pay attention to your performance. And that performance that he gave was fucking amazing. I'm pretty sure it was episode 4 or 5. But it was fucking amazing. I couldn't believe it that came out of him. Like, fucking right, man. What a great actor. So, yeah. It just depressed the ever-loving fuck out of me. And I'm done with HBO. That's the main crux of this video. I'm done with you. I've had absolutely enough of you. You are providing jobs to amazing fucking acting talent because it is a skill. Same as sports, acting's a fucking skill. Some are really good at it, some suck dog shit at it. Same as music. It's a fucking skill. You either learned to do it or you didn't. So when I see somebody, like, it was the greatest acting I'd seen in fucking years. And it's like, and the cast, they all fit together. That was the greatest part about it. It wasn't just like, here's a stellar fucking actor and 2 or 3 fucking part-timers and newbies. It was very similar to the fucking Under the Banner of Heaven for acting, which had those 2 young actors in it, which is fucking great because they played off each other great. But that's the thing. It's like, these are stellar, seasoned fucking actors that fucking... They built this amazing fucking camaraderie amongst each other within the work ethic of that somehow. I don't know how to express it, but the way they all melded together. And you have Quincy Isaiah and the younger actors up and coming. Then you have these experts who were guiding them in. Same as music and sports and anything. It's like the apprenticeship concept, right? Like teaching somebody how to do something. An intern kind of thing. So it was all around good. And yeah, I don't want to go on forever, but if you can't find enough people to view Larry and fucking Magic Johnson, like the 2 of those guys and their rivalry and that big story, which I was just like, right? Something interesting that isn't fucking the same bullshit over and over again. Or over glorified. Like, this is legit a really good story and a really good choice of a story to tell. If there ain't no review retention on that and people don't realize that Winning Time is literally like the best fucking show that was on TV in years, then fuck the stats show. My dad's great, you know that. Well, Dad created stats, so if you enjoy that league or whatever, pat him on the back or something, buy his fucking album, right? Yeah, buy Engage's new album or something. Apparently people seem to really like that, so there's lots of view retention on that, lots of listens and stuff, so pat Dad on the back somehow for his thing. I'm not going to make that show because they can't afford it, and I ain't going to even try to raise the funds if you're not going to finish the fucking story, because here's the thing, it's like they ended in season 2, and if there hadn't been much to tell, that's cool, but there was like 6 fucking 7 years more worth of fucking story to tell. Anyways, yeah, it really, really fucking pissed me off. Like I said, I cried. I legit bawled my eyes out. Because it was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. So, after the devastation that probably caused me to be such a fucking prick for about 3 years, and then this. I mean, Barry wasn't a great show, but they fucked the ending of that up too. And that had Henry Winkler and fucking Bill Hader. That was a decent show, and they fucked that one up. So I mean, like, you just don't know what you're doing. I don't like Disney by any fucking stretch. I never have. But your Space Trek at least is consistently fucking Space Trek. If you get into it, at least the fucking nerdy kind of people that I know get into it and they actually enjoy it. So props, because you actually put out your shows for people. And all the Marvel shit's hit or miss, but at least you're creating hit and miss, right? You're creating all kinds of stuff. You're just throwing darts at the wall and it's like whatever sticks, right? So at least you're trying. And to the people who go on strike because you want better for your job, you can go fuck yourself. Do your fucking job, you lazy cunts. As if you deserve more. You write on paper for a fucking job. How about spending the night in here? Try and get paid minimum fucking wage to deal with fucking crackheads rolling off the street and people fucking OD and people fucking trying to break into things and shitting on buildings, pissing up staircases and all the other crazy shit I've dealt with for minimum fucking wage. Yeah, try being me for a day. You want to bitch and whine because you don't get enough. You can go fuck yourself. You quit your job and you get another one. That's how you do it. You don't bitch about the job. You don't like your boss, you don't like the terms of your job, you find a fucking another one. You don't stop doing it and then sit on your ass and be like, yeah, I'm Gandhi. Because then you fuck over everyone like me, who has nothing to do with your bullshit and doesn't have anything, and was really, really hanging on to that fucking TV show about history that was done extremely fucking well. Anyways, enjoy winning time if you can, and remember that, yeah, Magic loses, but he also wins. They just didn't film that. I realize that when you watch the series and you're at the end, that Magic Johnson won 2 championships in a row, and for the first time in like 20-some years. And do they continue to make a season of that? No. Do they continue to the point where Magic fucking has to retire because of AIDS, where it should have ended? No. Do they continue to the point where Larry Bird had to fucking retire because of his back at the same goddamn time? No. That was a perfectly fucking set up story with a perfect fucking track of fucking stuff to put out. And they ended at the end of 1984. And if you're a basketball fan, a Celtics fan, or any kind of fucking Lakers fan even, you're sitting there thinking, the fuck? 1984 is like halfway through the story. What are you fucking doing? Anyways, that's 27 minutes or so of me saying something about this because it's fuck TV. Yeah, I don't like Disney. I'm not into Disney Wars, and I'm not into Marvel. I'm a DC guy. The Rock fucked that up miserably. I was expecting you to have my back, pal. You're supposed to be like Ryan Reynolds was for fucking Marvel. At least Margot's got my back, right? I won't watch the Barbie movie. I keep trying. But I know she's in it, and I love her to death. I've got nothing against Ryan Gosling either. I think he's a great fucking actor, but it's just like, what the fuck is this even about? Seen the Mario movie, and that's kind of why I won't watch it, because it's like, the original Mario movie is tenfold fucking better than that piece of shit. Good God. That's like, here's your new age shit, recycled from your generation for the new one. Margot probably did a really good job in the movie, just saying, but I'm not much for Barbies. I really don't know anything about it or care. I really, really love that fucking Winning Time show. That depresses the ever-loving fucking to me. Yeah, it's like I lost the goddamn championship. That's what it feels like anyway. Yeah, love yous. More to come in the future of some kind of whatever. I'm gonna find something new to look forward to every week. I'm watching Wrexham right now, and holy fuck, I hate the way that show is produced. I hate how it's chunked out into these individual stories. Just give me a fucking episode of what's going on. Give me a synopsis. And I really don't care about fucking soccer. And nothing against it. I like continuous sports, but I'm not a soccer guy. I'm a hockey guy. And basketball is like a cross between ball hockey and ice hockey. So it's like with a different concept, right? And it's still invented by a Canadian in Springfield. So it's like in the States, right? So it's like, yeah, anyways. I love yous. Take care.